Arkansas is coming off a 21-point win against Rice. And today I want to look at what KJ Jefferson and the Arkansas offense needs to do and needs to improve on to beat Texas, or to at least put themselves in the best position possible to beat Texas. So we're going to look at some film from KJ Jefferson and the Arkansas offense against that Rice defense, and then we're going to look at the defense of Texas and kind of look at a few clips of the Texas defense against Louisiana. But before we dive into the film, I just want to encourage y'all to consider subscribing to the channel if you like any quarterback-related content. We'll do Arkansas quarterback deep dives probably every week, whether it's recap or previews. So real quick, the game against Rice, obviously it wasn't what the Arkansas fans wanted. They were down by, I think, 10 at halftime, but came back and had a 21-point win. It was probably closer than the score looked, but they found their offense in the second half. So I don't want to really recap that offense, but I want to look at what they did well on, because that's what they need to do to beat Texas, and that was some sustained drives. So the beginning of this video, or the beginning of the clips we watch, we're going to look at some plays that lead to sustained drives, because you need some sustained drives against Texas. You can't just rely on the big plays, which is what Arkansas did at the beginning. But then in the second half, they had some sustained drives and some good play calls off the run game and some short passes. So I think you need some short to intermediate range passes to keep drives alive, to run your offense. And then you will need, I think, a few big plays here and there to beat Texas. I don't think you want to rely on those big plays, but you'll need big plays here and there. So for Jefferson to beat Texas, or Jefferson to put the offense in the best position possible, is let's have short to intermediate completions. Let's run the offense, and let's kind of play with what the offense is called. But then whenever the matchups call for it, whenever the play calls for it, let's make sure we can complete the big plays and use the legs as well. I think the legs will be a big part as well, but Texas will be planning for that. So the Texas defense, they're coming off a game against Louisiana, and they have a quarterback similar to KJ Jefferson, a good running quarterback, can use his legs and push the ball downfield. And you'll see them in the film that we're going to watch. They had a spy on Jefferson a lot. So not Jefferson, on Levi Lewis. So I would expect them to have a spy in passing downs, 38, 39. We're going to see that. So you'll see them bring 4 or 5 guys. You'll see them man up at times. You'll see them go into zone as well. So we're going to look at a few plays where they play man, a few plays where they play zone. So you can kind of figure out for yourself what's the best play call possible against those type of defenses. So enough of me talking. Let's dive into the film. Again, we're going to watch Jefferson first, and then we're going to look at the Texas defense after that. So yes, we're going to need Jefferson to run, and you're going to need to be able to hit some big plays to beat Texas. We're going to talk about that in a second, but I think this play, these type of plays, is what you'll need more of to beat Texas, and it's the consistency and staying within the offense, right? Making sure drives stay alive and having that short to intermediate range completion here, which they didn't get a lot of against Rice. So we're going to see this type of play. It's simple. Jefferson stays in the pocket, moves in the pocket, able to throw a good ball to the comeback route to him. We'll watch it real quick here, and then we see it. There's an open throwing line here, so we got to be able to complete these type of passes and do it often to, one, sustain drives, and two, keep your offense in the field, not rely on the big play. We need these type of plays to beat Texas. You need to run your offense and drive down the field, not just rely on big plays. So I think more plays like that, short to intermediate range passes, it will be something that will be key for Arkansas to do against Texas. So again, not a huge play here, but this is a drive sustainer. This type of play keeps drives alive. Short, easy pass, and when if you get the running game going, this is a 1-yard pass. Tight end coming off here. Oops, excuse me. Look at all the defenders having to focus on the run, and Jefferson, wide open pass here. Again, getting the run going, and then be able to hit these short, easy, intermediate passes to sustain drives. So a similar play to what we just saw. The running game has been working for Arkansas at this point in the game. You see a lot of defenders break in this way in the fake run. Receiver comes open here. Again, it's a few-yard pass, but ends up to be a first down, kind of a big play here. Just another example of what we want Arkansas to do. Look, everything gets blocked up in here. They go after the run. No one in space here except that corner, and he's following the receiver. Ends up being a big play there. So here's a touchdown by Jefferson. Just a rollout here. We're going to see the receiver run a nice little out route here. Gets open, but I think give Texas something else they have to worry about and focus on. So I think having some design plays like this, good job by Jefferson, balls out, wide open receiver for a touchdown there. But having some rollout plays, design plays to get him running and throwing on the run is something that they want to do against Texas. So here's a 2nd and 1 against Rice, and we're going to see Jefferson keep it. It's a design quarterback run. Picks up, 5-6 yards here. But I think design quarterback runs will be something that will be needed to call it strategically and timely. You don't want the defense to get too keyed in on Jefferson. But in these situations, I think using Jefferson as a runner will be key and huge. Again, not a huge play here, but I think the smaller plays will be more important for Arkansas to beat Texas this week. So here's Jefferson on a 3rd and 6 here, and you're going to see him just break a tackle to pick up the first down. So something that he'll probably need to do against Texas, improvise and use his legs. So, of course, here he is, and we have a blitzer coming off the side here. Does a great job shedding this tackle. Really good job, sheds the tackle, and is able to pick up the first down to keep the drive alive here. Here's the touchdown run by Jefferson. So we have he was lined up as a running back, comes in motion here, kind of gets the defense offside here, or off to the left side of the screen here, gets him out of position, a little pump fake. I've watched this several times, and sometimes I feel like it was a designed run. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't, but he just does a good job faking the catch here. And there's not a lot of hard routes being run, and then Jefferson takes off. You already got blocking downfield. But to beat Texas, I think Jefferson will have to use his legs, and I would expect more plays like this against Texas. And then he showcases his speed here and his ability there to go for a touchdown. So I would expect some creative design plays like this, whether this was supposed to be a pass or not. I would expect some design plays like this to get Jefferson running. So this type of play here, it's a go route here. Just gives the guy a chance to make a play. Actually, it's a real long touchdown run. I know there's a penalty here, but I think to beat Texas, you'll have to have some of these. I know I've been hammering home the consistent kind of short plays, but I think whenever he's called to do this, it's important to have. And then to improvise, I think will be big as well for Jefferson against Texas. We'll just watch it real quick. Nice design quarterback scramble there, or quarterback run there. Good blocking as well, and able to pick up a huge play. I know it gets called back, but just an example of some plays I think Arkansas will need to do to beat Texas. So here's a 3rd and 9 of Texas against Louisiana, and even though there's like only 3 down linemen essentially, it's basically 5. Even though they don't have their hands on the ground, they bring 5 here, so they only got 5 to protect. So it's 5 on 5. Texas ends up getting some pressure, and they're playing man across here. And so it is 3rd and 9, so they keep everything in front. Ends up being an incomplete pass here. But again, they bring 5. They get some pressure with 5. They'll let you throw this down route here. Ends up being dropped, but the DB was on him anyways. But for that to happen, it's okay to take that. You just have to trust your receiver to be able to make this guy miss. So it's up to the Arkansas play callers to see if they want that. If not, you probably want a ball downfield in a 3rd and 9 situation there. So here's a 3rd and 8, and very similar to the last play we just watched. You basically have 5 down linemen, even though only 4 in their stance will count this guy. And it's going to be 3rd and 8, and you're going to have a man defense, right? But there's a little difference. Only 4 of these guys come, so you have 5 on 4. But watch the guy in the middle. So he is spying Levi Lewis. So it's basically man on man here, which I would expect him to do to KJ Jefferson. We got man here taking the run back to the backfield. Everyone's manned up here. And just like the last play, they'll give you this route here. They'll give you a few yards, and they trust their DBs to make the tackle in open space, which I think Texas has some really good DBs. So, again, up to Arkansas if they want to take that, if they want to push it downfield a bit more. But, again, they look to get pressure on you. They'll have a spy on Jefferson, I would imagine. Then they'll give you those underneath route throws. So here's a 2nd and 7, and it looks like initially, before the snap, it's like a cover 2, right? But you'll see Texas kind of shift and go into a different coverage or different zone package here. So it's actually going to be cover 3. So we're going to have a safety middle of the field. The safety comes down, takes that zone there. Oops. And then we'll have third here. But this is a way you can attack the Texas defense here. So you they're only bringing 3 guys. They're dropping 8 guys into coverage, and it's a zone defense with cover 3 schemes. And we're going to see Louisiana take advantage of that. They're going to hit the guy right in the middle here. So in a cover 3 defense, you have some verticals you can take advantage of, depending where the hole is. So a good throw there by Levi Lewis, but something for Arkansas to realize is, hey, when you only bring 3, if it's a cover 3, or if it's any type of zone, there's going to be a hole shot potentially there. So again, Texas will look to get pressure on you. If they only bring 3, that's when you have time to settle down and make a throw downfield like Levi Lewis did there. So again, just a few clips each, but I think does a decent job kind of describing what Jefferson needs to do to put the offense in the best position possible. Not just him, but the offensive play caller in general. So complete short to intermediate passes, kind of build off the run game, and then when the big plays are there, I think you'll need to hit a few big plays, but you don't want to rely on the big plays to beat Texas. Then we saw the Texas defense. You'll see some zone, you'll see some man. I think they'll have a spy. I think they'll be very good athletes, so I think you want to kind of not, of course you want to confuse them, but you want to create good mismatches and create short easy completions for Jefferson to kind of get him comfortable and then take the shots whenever they call for it. But I want to hear from you. What do you think Jefferson needs to do to put the offense in the best position possible? What do you think the Arkansas offense needs to do? Let me know in the comments below. We'll see you next time on the next quarterback related video.